Well, hello, neighbor. It's me, Angie. I'm out here under the carport today for our neighborhood chat because my car is gone and my daughter has it. She's getting the her air conditioner compressor fixed in her car before it gets steaming hot, and she borrowed Mama's car until hers got fixed. And James went to work in his truck, so I didn't want you to think I wasn't here. So I'm sitting under the carport waiting on you. When you drive up, I'll be out here and we'll be ready to get on with our little chat. And when you do arrive, my refrigerator under my carport is sitting there. It's got drinks in it, and I have other drinks in the refrigerator in the house. Snacks, you know where you are. You've been here hundreds of times. So just make yourself feel at home. You always do, and that's what I love about my neighbors. They always come in and just feel like family. But anyway, our neighborhood chat today is about, what do you want to be when you grow up? Now, a few chats back, maybe a few weeks ago, I gave a talk about we all have a purpose. And what is our purpose? Well, I got a little feedback, several comments about purpose. But people, saying, I don't think I have a purpose. I don't think, if I do, I don't know what it is. Well, of course you have a purpose, just like the birds have a purpose. The insects have a purpose. The flowers have a purpose. The animals have a purpose. Now, if they all have a purpose, even down to the trees and the grass, if all those things have purpose, undoubtedly you can believe that you have a reason for being here. I mean, the rain, thunder, lightning, there's always a reason for it. And they serve a purpose. You serve a purpose. So, we're going to try to discover what that purpose may be. And I said in my video, it's your deepest passion, something that you longed to do when you were younger but didn't have the opportunity to do it. Maybe a dream you had to become something that you didn't become. And don't worry about it if you didn't become that. You haven't missed your purpose. It's still there. It may be used in a different way, but it's still there. Don't you ever, ever doubt that. Well, I'm going to share a little bit about my purpose or my dream. Now, of course, I talked about being a mom and all that, and that was true. But as far as career-wise or something that I really wanted to do, I wanted to be an English professor, to teach language, arts. I love to write. I love poetry. Anything to do with books, words. I always wanted to be around that. I could go to that's why it was so perfect for me to work at the library, because I felt so comfortable when I would walk in the library and I would just be around a room full of books. They just calmed me. It just calmed me down. Now, I can't explain that. But I do. I love books. I love to read. I love to write. And I'm just getting back to where I'm writing more poetry now, which I thought was really, really weird growing up. And I really wouldn't tell anybody that I would do that thing, but, write poetry, because I thought, this is really weird. But as I got older, I realized that everybody does not have that talent. And, we think that our talents don't mean as much as somebody else's, that there's big talents and there's small talents. We put them in categories. But that's not necessarily true. Your talent is just as important as somebody else's. I didn't always think that it was. I've talked to you about my older sister who could sing. She could draw. She could run an office. She just has so many talents. She could solve a problem. I do have that gift, I guess, about solving problems and And I can pretty much run an office too, but she was always she excelled in school, and she just had a lot of talent. Now, my baby sister, she was a policeman at one time. She could be rough and tough, and she didn't weigh 120 pounds. She can paint houses, do carpentry work. This is my younger sister now. So I was the middle child. And we talked about this on my live chat the other day about birth order. And I remembered the name of the book. It's called The Birth Order Book. And it talks about how the oldest child wants to excel and take on a lot of responsibility. And then it talks about the younger child's the baby, and they get a lot of attention because they're the youngest. And, I had a brother that passed away when my son was 7 months old, and he was the only boy, so he got a lot of attention because he was the only boy. And then there was me. And I felt like that I really didn't have to exceed in anything if I didn't want to. But I always managed to excel in anything that I tried to do. But I always demanded a lot of attention when I was younger. I look back now and remember a teacher calling my mom. I was in the 4th grade. And she called my mom about my behavior in her class. And I don't know what I really was doing wrong now that I think about it. But her remark was, Angie demands a lot of attention. And I guess I always have. I have the gift of gab. I like to be in a crowd of people and talk to everybody. I like to stand up and give speeches and talk about different subjects. I also like to talk one-on-one, just as long as I'm out talking to people and being a part of something. That's why I love YouTube so much. I get to express who I really am, getting up here on coming to you with these videos, being able to talk about any subject that I want to talk about, not being judged too harshly, and people receive me well. And so it makes it a little easier to do for me to be up here sitting here speaking to you. I think that I've always had a desire to know things, to grow spiritually, mentally, learn what there is beyond this life, where I'm headed after I leave here. There's just all kind of things that you can read about and study and know and have peace about. But knowing what you really would love to do, I would write it down on a piece of paper. And you know how they used to you put what you want to do and you draw a line down and you put the pros and the cons of why you wanted to do that and why you shouldn't do it? I've done that with a lot of things in my life. I would write something down and think, should I do this? And I'd write the pros and the cons about why I shouldn't say something, why I shouldn't confront somebody, why I shouldn't say a certain thing or act a certain way, or, just different times in my life. I would base what I was going to do on pros and cons. And also, I've always been listening to that little voice inside me saying, don't do that. The saying, when in doubt, leave it out. You should always go with that. That'll save you a lot of heartache. But once you jump into something, you got to go to the end. Whether it's good or bad, you got to ride it out. Let's do that gracefully. Now, that's hard. especially if someone's hurt you. It's very hard. If somebody has told you that that was not something you should be dreaming about, that you could never accomplish it, uh, you don't have a good voice, you don't have the figure to be a dancer or a model, or don't let people discourage you on what you have a dream about becoming. Because once you start having that dream, it could easily turn into something else that it was unexpected. You started out with one thing and it turns to something else even better than what you actually dreamed. Because a lot of times we don't even give ourselves a chance to dream that something even greater could happen in our life. A lot of us don't even ever dream. We just go through every day the same thing, never change anything up. And you know what the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again, and it never changes. And you get the same result. So change something in your life. It doesn't have to be a big change. I changed my eating habit. I've lost 25 pounds. Has it been fun? No, it hasn't been fun. Do I regret doing it? No, I don't regret doing it because I feel so much better. And I got myself in this position. Steroids, eating more than I exercise because I'm in a wheelchair. I can't exercise that much. So, make one change. Write it down. When you get that change conquered, write something else down. Then before you get to the second thing, you might branch off into, you know how they do, A, B, C with number 1. You may have an A that you want to, something you want to write down that may be a little change with what the major change is. It's not a race that has to be run in a day. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. That means we're going to have time to do what we need to do. Or I hope we have time. We're never guaranteed extra time or any time. Like I said on my video the other day, we might not make it to the end of the day, tomorrow, next week. So why aren't we out there living, really living? You're worried about what someone's going to say, what they're going to do, how they're going to act towards you. They may not be your friend. Your family may laugh at you. I say, so what? I think one time in my life I did care about that. Not really. Not a lot. But enough where it hindered me from stepping out and doing things that I really, really wanted to do. Now, both of my sisters have tattoos, and I have nothing against having a tattoo. And I've even thought about, I might want one also. But I don't want something on my body that I can't wash off. Especially if I end up not liking it. But I don't judge anybody for having tattoos. My daughter has them. My son has a couple. But in a way, I admire them for stepping out and just doing what they wanted to do. They didn't care what anybody else thought. They did it. I'm doing that more since I've gotten older. And I want to inspire you or impress upon you to do something that you would just, it would be unexpected. Like the shock factor. I always like to say something shocking so people will look around going, I know she didn't say that. And just keep a straight face. That's fun. Laugh more. Enjoy life. Soak up the sun. Get out and listen to the birds. Look into a baby's face. The innocence of a baby. Give somebody a hug. Let somebody hug you. let somebody say they love you. Some people have never even heard that, which totally blows me away. That someone can actually have never heard anybody tell them that they love them. I don't really comprehend that. And that's why I tell all of you, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Because I do. I love and care about your future and what your days are going to look like ahead. I don't want you up at night crying because you're worried about something or you don't know about what's going to happen at your home the next day, depending on what you're going through. Don't sit up crying about it. Say, Lord, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I'm going to have to accept it. And I'm not going to try to control it anymore. Because really, we're not in control of anything but ourselves. The world's going to take care of itself. There's two things in this world that we're supposed to do, as far as I'm concerned as a Christian. Is to love the Lord God with all my heart and to love my neighbor as myself. That's the two things that I'm expected to do. I'm not expected to judge anybody. I'm not expected to dislike anybody. I'm not expected to make fun of anybody. I'm not expected to correct their wrong, bully them, be mean to them. I'm not expected to brag, to be prideful. All I'm expected to do is to love the Lord God with all my heart and love my neighbor as myself. And if I really love myself, that means I'm going to love you with everything that I have. So stop putting so much pressure on yourself that you're supposed to take the whole world on your shoulders and fix everything. Allow people to come in and help you. Don't always think it's left up to you to solve the problem. Get your whole family in a room and say, I can't think of a solution anymore. What's your idea? What do you want to do? And then maybe they can come up with a better way of solving a problem than you can. Don't always think you have to be in control, because you don't. Dance a little. Boy, oh man, I miss dancing. Oh, I say that on my live chat. Oh, if I could just stand up and dance. And that's one thing I plan on doing when I lose some more weight. It may look ugly, with a walker and an old woman with a walker, but I'm going to just try it. I watch videos of people dancing and I just laugh because I think to myself, man, I didn't do that enough when I could walk. I never dreamed that I wouldn't be able to do it. I thought I was going to live long enough and be able to walk that I could just dance anytime I wanted to. Sing. Sing out loud. If you can't sing, sing anyway. Whatever your talent is, draw. Greet others. Speak out. Do kind things. Pay it forward. Do unexpected things. All I'm saying, neighbor, is what do you want to be when you grow up? Think on that. Write it down. Let me know in the comments. It's always time. Because as long as we have breath, we still have time. Do something that's going to change you, change your family, change the world, change your surroundings for the better. We can always improve ourselves. And with that being said, neighbor, you know I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. And don't forget, we only have one, just one, life that we're going to live here. And then we're going to have to travel somewhere else. Don't waste it. Please don't waste it. Smile more. Laugh out loud. My goodness, when you laugh out loud, that makes you feel so good. It does me. I feel so good when I laugh out loud. I'm not saying laugh at someone. I'm saying just laugh. Don't forget to like, share, comment. Please comment. I love your comments. And like. Some people forget to like when they come through the door. Don't forget to share me out. And ring that bell. You know, it's got that little bell shape. Pencil that in. Touch it with your finger. Reach out and touch it. So you'll know the next time I'm coming to you with a video. So you can come over and we can have a chat. Bye, neighbor.